Good morning. Welcome back to Marriage Minutes. This is episode 15, where we're going to give you one tool or one way to avoid miscommunication.
Most miscommunication isn't about what's actually said, it's about what's assumed. And so one way to avoid miscommunication is to practice active listening.
One of the ways that you can practice active listening is when you're sitting and listening to your spouse, you don't want to be thinking about what it is that you want to say next, because if you're formulating a sentence that you want to say while your spouse is talking, you're not actually listening. Even if it's completely to do with what you guys are talking about, what you want to do is listen and try to understand what it is that they're trying to say.
So listen to what they're saying, and instead of thinking about what to say next or taking your turn to say what you have to say, repeat back what you heard them say and ask them if you heard it correctly.
Absolutely. So one of the ways that you can do that, and this may seem self-explanatory, but I think it's important to point it out what you could say. Just a simple statement. So what I'm hearing you say is, and then share how you interpreted it. And maybe it's just a word for word what they said, if that totally made sense to you. But sometimes we can receive things differently because ultimately we were created differently. And you just want to share what you heard and allow them to speak into it. Like, yes, absolutely, that's exactly what I said. Or no, you're completely way off base.
Let me clarify.
Let me clarify.
Yeah.
So that you get complete understanding of what's actually being shared. It's important that you understand before you respond.
You don't want to assume that you heard what they said the way they meant for you to hear it. You want to confirm. So asking that question is a good way to confirm you're hearing what they're trying to actually say.
You want to be completely in understanding of what they're communicating, how they're feeling, what it is that's happening in the conversation. Yeah. And then ask clarifying questions, like get completely clear on what it is your spouse is communicating before jumping to conclusions or making assumptions. And it's going to be a great way to kind of just bring your communication to a higher level.
Yeah. Don't assume, confirm.
Absolutely. High level of communication leaves very little room for misunderstanding or miscommunication. So that's all we have for you today. Thanks for watching. Tune in tomorrow where we will be in episode 16.
Thanks for watching.